too confused.
Yo, what's up? Modern Philosopher here. I'm here with my good friend Alex again.
What's
Today we're going to be talking more on morality and ethics and how morals and ethics really need to be an individual topic rather than societally based. And the other part is how religion ties into it a little bit. And we're also going to talk about how your reasoning for your actions is important in how your morals and ethics play out. So, to start out, I have a pretty great quote by the one and only A$AP Rocky, sorry. I strive for perfection, but I am not perfect. But what I can say is my morals are totally different than any other 24-year-old rapper my age now. I look at life totally different, a whole other aspect. I have different views and morals on life in general and opinions. The basic gist of that is everybody has their own morals, and everybody's different. And
yeah, that's a great quote. You know, morality is an interesting thing. You know, a lot of people wonder where it comes from, I guess, in our species. And I would have to say that like the closest thing would be solidarity with our own species. I mean, it's demonstrable in the animal kingdom. You know, plenty of animals will protect their own kind because they understand some cohesion within their unit. Some people would argue that it comes from some sort of god, which I would say, you know, is a little far-fetched. I mean, I don't believe in that kind of thing, so I don't that doesn't make sense to me. How I mean, no one's arguing that, you know, a monkey feeding its child is coming from God or something like that. I don't know, what do you think about that?
I mean, like, a big argument is a lot of people say, well, scientists don't have morals, right? Because a big misconception is that morals come from religion, and when you have science and you have atheism, then you don't have morals. And that's like one of the biggest misconceptions that a lot of religious people have about non-religious people. And personally, I think that in religion, religion does give a good set of morals, and it does allow for you know, like a good definition of what morals and ethics should be, but I don't think that's the only place you can find it. And so when you have someone that's not religious, it doesn't make any sense to say that they don't have morals, because morals are more than just something that is religious based. Morals come from society. So Nietzsche said morality is the herd instinct in the individual, right? Morals are a product of the society, and the individual is a product of that society. So the individual is a product of those morals, and they have the morals and ethics of the society. So I think that the religious society versus a non-religious society both provide morals, but in different aspects.
Yeah, religious morality is a little bit different from, I'd say, an individual morality in that, you know, you have your book and it tells you what is moral and what isn't. And that's fine because sometimes those lessons are good. Like, you know, you shouldn't kill people, you know, you shouldn't be envious, you know, but something like that's a little bit more up to interpretation. But the problem is that arguing that you can only get your morality from religion is a little silly, because the Bible has things in it that it says as moral that are completely ridiculous, that you should stone adulterers, that if a woman tries to teach you something, you should, like, mock her, and things like that are completely off base. And people try to argue that that's the book to find your morality in. And I would say that my morals are better than that, than if I was to take all my morals from the Bible, just on morals that I've learned myself, that I've cultivated on my own.
Definitely. So you have to adapt your morals, A, to different times, and B, you need to adapt where you're actually getting those morals from. You can't get them all from the same place, right?
Yeah.
So like if you get them all from one place, and you're like I was talking about earlier, you're not becoming adaptable, and you're constricting your viewpoint. So like if you're taking your morals from different groups of people in different societies, then maybe your morals are more just or more profound, maybe, or something along those lines.
Yeah, definitely more well-rounded. I mean, morality really has to be an individual thing, because if you're saying that you're being good because God is telling you, and not because you want to, is that really morality? Are you really acting morally in that situation?
That's a good point, because a big part about morality that Nietzsche and Kant talk about is the reasoning behind your actions. If you have the wrong reasoning, then it's not really morality.
Yeah.
I said a great quote yesterday about how if a man breaks the law, he's automatically one sec. Let me find it real quick. But it talks about how when you break a moral code, mentally, when you think about it, according to Kant, you automatically have already been immoral. And what that means is, like, you have to do something for the right reason, right? If you're doing something to get more attention, if you're walking the lady across the road to get more attention, that's the wrong reason, and you're not acting morally. But if you're acting out of the kindness of your heart for the benefit of others, then you're acting morally, right? So we have to take into account, like, why that is. And I think one of the things about religion is that I think definitely there are some people that just say, okay, I have to act this way because God told me to act this way. And I do think that there are other people that think, well, I'm going to act this way because it's the right thing to do, right? Not because God told me to do it, but because it is the right thing to do. And that's just where they've gotten their morals from.
Yeah, and that's really it. Intention is really important in the way you act. It's kind of hard because really people can never really know your intentions, and so it has to just be something that you know for yourself. I would argue that having an immoral thought is really not an immoral action, because truly we're just animals, and we have impulses, and our brain is just constantly doing its own thing. So if you have like an evil, sadistic thought, that's kind of scary, but you can step back from it. And us as people, we can control our actions. We can think about, oh, maybe I want to steal this candy bar, but you say, no, I shouldn't do that because that's stealing. But so you came from both sides, and you still came out doing the moral thing. I really don't agree with the religious view on morality, is because people kind of believe that God can read our thoughts, and that He's always around us, watching our every move, and He's basically Big Brother at this point. He's in our head, and we have an immoral thought, so we've committed a thought crime, and so now we're going to go to hell just for what we've thought, even though we've affected nobody else in this situation. We've only had it within us. It's like an Orwellian proposition that somehow God can seed Himself within us. And it's kind of a silly thought that God would really even care what 7 billion people are all thinking at the one time.
Yeah, I totally, that makes sense, because I think that's maybe a big misconception that a lot of people have. Because when you think of religion, a lot of people stray to the extremists. Like, if you think about the Republican Party, a lot of people think about the Tea Party, right? The extremists, because they're the ones that get the most attention. And I feel that that's very true for a lot of religious points of views on morality. And when it comes to how it works, I think that the best way to understand the whole viewpoint of a religious morality is to take a step back and try and not look at the extremists, right? So the extremists, extremist is a broad term, but basically what I'm saying is that some Christians believe that, that would be a thought crime. And like Alex said, God really wouldn't care why would He care about what 7 billion people are thinking, right? 8 billion people, it doesn't make any sense. And so I think that that's one of the misconceptions that people have. Well, He does care about that's the misconception, that He does care about the 7 billion minds and what's going through their heads and whatnot. But I don't know. So yeah, that was the basic gist of humility and virtue, because you really have your intentions are a big part of your morality and the virtue of your actions. And everybody has their individual perspectives, and everybody has a different society that they grow up in, and therefore their perspectives are different. And so I think we can both agree that you need to broaden the amount of societies that you gather your morality from, because I think that there is definitely some virtue to a lot of Christian morals, and a lot of Jewish morals, and a lot of Buddhist morals, and Eastern philosophy morals, and African. There's merit to everything, right? And so you just have to immerse yourself in those societies and take the morals that you need to take from each one, take the good parts, and just leave the bad parts.
I mean, really what you're doing by only accepting one moral standpoint is you're limiting yourself, and you're opening yourself up to bigotry. You're opening yourself up to saying, no, my way of thought is the only way. And the only thing that's going to lead you to is hatred, and is probably going to lead you to do more immoral actions than if you actually looked around and found what you really like within the entire world, everything that's available to you, instead of just accepting the first thing that was told to you really in life. I mean, that's really what religion is. I would say it survives pretty solely on the indoctrination of children, and they don't get the chance to think for themselves. So their mind is wired to to think through the religious pathways, and that's fine. Everyone has family morals, traditions and things like that, but it gets to a point where it really is detrimental to our development as individuals and as a society and as a civilization as a whole.
Definitely. So that was today's Daily Enlightenment. If you guys like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you want to see Alex in more videos, go ahead and write how much you love young Alexander in the comments. Make sure to check out his SoundCloud. He's got some awesome music coming out. And I'll probably be talking more about Freudian subconscious in the next video. And then next week I get to go into a lot more of Rousseau and community versus self and the social contract and all that stuff. But yeah, so that was the video. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. Follow us on Twitter and Google+. Alright, see you guys next time.